Hey, it's Webs here. We're back with another Hearthstone deck, this time Reno Freeze Mage. So I've been wanting to do another Reno deck since his return to standard, and I figured Mage would be the perfect opportunity to do so, especially because we got a bunch of the Freeze Mage support back in rotation too. There is one thing that is missing from this deck that you might be wondering why, and that is Pyroblast. Pyroblast is basically not in the deck because of the ability to randomly generate Ice Blood Tower off of your Robes of the Archmage. If you lose once to that combo, you never want to play Pyroblast in any deck with Rune of the Archmage in it. So let's get into the Mulligan guide of the deck. So you're basically looking for cards like Wildfire, Amplified Snow Flurry, Arcanologist, Doomsayer, or even Fire Cell to keep in your opening hand, along with some other cards that might generate you additional threats. The main reason I say these are the cards that you're looking to start out with is Wildfire is a really good turn 1 play and allows you to easily kill any minion your opponent might play down on the second turn. And if you get an early enough Fire Cell in your opening hand, then if you're playing against a bunch of minion-based matchups, then you're going to be able to destroy their entire board, even if you have to coin out this early. With that all being said, let's look at some games. Alright, time for a game against Mage. So it probably will be Mech Mage, so we're probably going to want to mulligan away the Reno Jackson, Rune of the Archmage, and the Parrot, keeping the Scorpid just to generate some early game threats. Explosive Runes is actually a pretty good one to get here. Arcanologist is alright, but Okay, so it looks like they have at least the amulets in deck. Well, we can shuffle our amulet back into the deck. We have nothing else to do this turn. Belinda is alright. It's a bit too early for her, but... Okay, so they are mech, which is a little bit frustrating, but we should be able to deal with it pretty quickly. We might want to coin out the Scorpid just to put down a poisonous minion. See what we actually get here. Pyroblast is funny. Getting the first flames, though, is probably the best decision there. Okay, they're going to put minion at the bottom of their deck. We can kill the security really quickly. Then place down a explosive trap, just because they're probably going to place down something instantly, and we might as well kill it. And we're going to be able to do 4 damage to their face. They're sadly going to kill our poisonous minion. Let's draw our ice barrier out of the deck and then just ping their face. We could have also killed the 3/4, but I'd rather save some of the removal in our hand. We definitely are going to use the 5-cost arcane spell here though, just to get it off of the board. I don't want to deal with that getting really big. They're going to gain 10 armor. That's perfectly fine. That's a little bit frustrating, but it is a really cool little interaction, and that's something that we actually can do in our deck too. We're going to go face. We're probably going to freeze the board here. Shuffle the Viper back into the deck. Getting the Deep Water, which is pretty interesting. Okay, they're going to shuffle their amulet back into the deck. Targeting the Amalgam with the Amalgam is probably a bit of a mistake on their half. I've done it before, but it is a little bit frustrating when you accidentally do it. Okay, so they actually have the gateway in their hand. Well, we can freeze 2 of their minions here and then kill the other 2. Let's see how much armor we gain here. 7 armor, actually pretty good for 4 mana. Okay, so they're going to kill all of our minions here. We do have the mass polymorph, which is really funny, especially because it does turn off most of the mech support that they actually have if we don't get rid of the minions. Gonna polymorph here, and then we can just pass the turn back. Okay, so they'll be able to do 5 damage this turn. They're killing one of the sheep. That makes a lot of sense. If you want to put down more mechs, you gotta do what you gotta do. We're going to get some spells here. You can use the Cone of Cold on the 3 mechs just to freeze them up. I guess 2 of them are only mechs. Then we can use our hero power to just go face. Though we might have wanted to save that for another mech. but they're going to clear out their sheeps. They're going to get a Hela and a Caligos, which is a little bit frustrating. Just going to go face. Then we're going to hope and pray we get a mass polymorph here. And Wii We're going to freeze 2 of their minions. Then we can just use our ice barrier and pass the turn back. Grabbing some more armor. Going to instantly kill their shark, which is great for us. And they have another one and another one. That's actually kind of frustrating. How many sharks are they going to actually have here? Okay, so we do 2 damage each. We could use the apprentice, and then we're going to probably have to hang with our hero power and use the 2 first flames, because I do not want to deal with 3 mech sharks next turn. And they should be running out of ways to actually generate them. Pyroblast is actually pretty cool. It's a card that I wanted to include in this deck, but it turns out losing to a randomly generated Ice Blood tower is not really fun to do. Okay, so they're going to have 2 ways to do some damage here. They'll probably be able to kill our entire board. We probably will ping their Divine Shield and then use the Fire Eye just to nuke the entire board. And all we need is our Fire Eye to actually survive this turn. Okay, a Deep Run Engineer, going to be a little bit annoying. We're going to place another Mech Shark down. I guess they aren't going to run out of ways to generate that. Oh, Fire Cell is actually a pretty good top deck. Going to do that. And then heal us up for full Reno. Now, what can they get off of this? I guess another Hela and Caligos might be a little bit annoying. A taunt actually is a lot more annoying than anything else. But I do think our parrot still has technically mass polymorph, which is really funny. We can actually use the overflow here, reduce the cost of our Pyroblast, and then pass the turn back. We just need them to take 2 damage here and we should be fine. And they play a minion. Great. So we're going to win next turn with our favorite spell, Pyroblast. Let's face Demon Hunter. That's the 1000 Wind portrait for Demon Hunter, isn't it? I'm actually kind of getting close to that, surprisingly. Priest being my historic favorite class in the game, ironically, is the class that I have the least amount of wins. Maybe just because I like to experiment too much with it. Oh, the Wildfire is actually a pretty good turn 1 play, especially because it allows us to get rid of our opponent's minion next turn. They're going to draw a card, do 4 damage to our face. And then we just destroy it this turn. Well, we can instantly kill it again. That's a really cool thing about actually getting this so early on, that we can just keep killing their minions. And we did discount Fire Cell, which is actually pretty good. And that is not something I want to actually see. Okay, so we have the tough decision of using Fire Cell this turn or just waiting. Fire Cell now is probably a better play overall. We could actually use the Doomsayer if we really felt like it too. Just putting it down just so they can't put down a bunch of minions this turn. Probably shouldn't have done it like that, but oh well. Okay, so they actually did play some minions, huh? But they did get rid of the Doomsayer. That's going to be a little bit annoying to deal with, just because we don't have any way to directly kill the Trekthar this turn. Deep Freeze is interesting. Going to kill 1 minion here, and then just pass the turn. We can take 4 damage and then instantly kill whatever we freeze, so it's not that big of a deal. Okay, so they're going to be able to do a bunch of damage to our face. It's going to be a little bit annoying, but Oh, there's Arcane Overflow. That might actually be useful. We could just use this. I think this will only get us Wildfire. Oh, and Ice Barrier. That's actually not the worst hero use ever. And then we can just ping the Drekthar, buffing up our hero power, and then attack into the 1/5. Okay, so we don't have enough mana to use robes or runes of the Archmage, but we do get to gain 1 armor here. I guess it doesn't really matter that much. As long as we can like outpace the amount of resources that they actually use. I'm gonna kill the 2/3, then just ping face, freeze the 3/4. Runes is probably our next turn play. Multi-strike is such a frustrating card. It's interesting to actually see it in Demon Hunter, especially given the fact that Demon Hunter didn't exist when multi-strike as a mechanic in World of Warcraft existed, but it is what it is. Would have been cool if Warrior got something similar to that for Weapon Warrior, but I guess it would be too powerful with Gorehowl. Or maybe Gorehowl could actually see some play if it was usable in Warrior. Yeah, just gonna RNG our way into victory here. Okay, that didn't exactly do what I wanted. That didn't do exactly. I should have actually attacked first. Draw a mech, doesn't do anything. That does clear the board next, maybe. Actually, no, it doesn't, sadly. I think it's 1 damage off of killing the Rajara. We really should have attacked before we actually used the runes, but oh well. Okay, so they have their hero card. We're going to have to deal with this instantly. Alright, what top deck could we use? Mass Polymorph would actually be pretty cool. That actually works a lot better than Mass Polymorph. That's actually probably the best top deck we could have actually had. We're going to see what we gain off of this. 3 armor, kill all their minions here, then just ping their face for a little bit. We basically need a minion to survive till next turn. Actually, maybe both of them. A second Crocus. That's so frustrating. Okay, so what do we need now? Wait, they are actually Demon Hunter, right? The hell did they randomly generate the Gone Fishing off of? Oh, we can just finish them off here. Alrighty, time to play against Rogue. I actually want to do something with Rogue. But I've been testing out a really bad deck, and that's probably not going to see the light of day. Well, it really depends on what this Rogue is playing. I'm going to be safe and keep the Fire Cell and the Cone of Cold. Most Rogue decks are minion based anyways, besides Garroot Rogue, and I think that deck has basically faded into oblivion at this point. We can discount the Fire Cell just to get it discounted by 1. We do have a lot of AoE in our hand, so that's actually pretty nice. Just gonna go face. Play Fighter, so they're probably Pirate Rogue, would be my assumption. Alright, we're just gonna ping at their minion, trade in the Fire Cell, grabbing the Drakefire Amulet, which does us nothing in this matchup. That is something I should have kept the Fire Cell for. You live and you learn, I guess. You live and you learn. Probably going to put down the Explosive Trap. We could actually put down the Doomsayer if we really felt like it, because they need to do 4 additional damage, which is possible, I guess, in Rogue, but I don't think it's that likely. Jarn Vessel, okay. We do kill all their minions. We can just stick down the Talion to draw us into Fire Eye if we really feel like it. Or we could just ping their face and pass the turn back. Okay, Blade Master. And we instantly kill the Blade Master, so we're in a pretty good position. Too bad we don't actually hit their face for any damage, but it is what it is. Going to attack. Trade in the Drakefire Amulet. Grabbing the Arcanologist. Grabbing the Ice Barrier, and then passing the turn again. Trying to be greedy with the Belinda in our hand. Okay, so they didn't discover a pirate off of that, which is perfectly fine by me. Babbling Book. Interesting to see. I don't know how useful it's actually going to be. Just going to attack their face, play down Belinda. let's see what we get. Mass Polymorph, not a bad hit. And that's not a bad hit either. It doesn't actually do anything either way. Okay, they get 2 Sunken Vessels. We can freeze them out next turn with a Blizzard. Okay, they're actually going to use Scabs. That's a bit frustrating. We do get the Belinda back in our hand, and we're going to burn something this turn, but we might not want to draw 2 cards with Belinda again. We could just freeze out their board. Freezing out their board is probably the best bet here. Going to gain 8 armor. Hopefully we don't burn anything really cool. That is actually something that would have been really nice to see. We can use Blizzard and then just ping their Amalgam. Okay, they're going to discount their Sunken Pirate. Admiral. That's a little bit frustrating. They take 5 cards from our deck. As long as they don't get Reno, we should be pretty good. Even if they did get Reno, it wouldn't have been that bad. But we do have Reno now in our hand. We can just Polymorph to prevent them from Shadow Stepping back and forth. I actually don't know if that's how that would work. They're going to mill their Sprint. I don't know why you would be running it in a deck where you're stealing my deck, but whatever. Okay, they stole a Drakefire Amulet from us. Kind of annoying, but it is what it is. I think we only have 1 Arcane spell into rotation, so using our hero card here probably is a pretty good idea. Okay, we got the Blizzard first. Explosive Runes, and then the Polymorph. I really wish that was in the opposite order, but oh well. We're going to shuffle that back into the deck. And that would have been nice to see a second earlier too. Probably should have traded in the Viper before using our hero card, but it is what it is. They stole Fire Sail too. Okay, so all of our AoE is basically out of the deck. We're going to do 5 damage there. Okay, so we should have Fire Eye, I think, still in the deck, and Apprentice, hopefully. Okay, what can we get here? Fire Eye, actually pretty good for a top deck if we had enough uses of our hero power so far, but we're going to get extra damage there, so might as well use it next turn. I think next turn we actually just straight up have it. I'm going to place this down. We might want to use Deep Freeze just to freeze something, but I guess we didn't. We should have, what, 5 damage from hero power and 10 damage from Fire Eye, which is actually just game as long as they don't heal. That's a funny top deck too. Well, let's not get risky and just use Fire Eye plus our hero power and rock our way to victory. Alright, now that we're through the games, let's discuss my final thoughts of the deck. So, the deck was a very average deck overall, I would say. It's a really fun deck to try to play, though there is one big warning I should give. This deck can make games go to like 20 minutes long, and if you don't want to play a deck that can do that, don't try to play this deck. It does have a lot of advantage of being able to go very long term and outpace a lot of the more aggro decks, as you do have ways to generate additional threats within this deck. But a clear weakness to the deck is it only has one big finisher, which is Fire Eye. Fire Eye allows you to just do 10 damage to your opponent's face, but Pyroblast could do the same thing if you were to cut the Rune of the Archmage, because I just don't like having the possibility of generating a Iceblood Tower in this type of deck if I'm running Pyroblast. That being said though, if you have the cards in the deck and you don't really have to craft anything here, it's a perfect deck to try to play, just as a fun little thing that most people won't expect out of Mage right now. And like always, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, bye bye.